Hey guys, this is Bex JB coming at you with some more semi-thought out content for your eyes and ears. And I've been inconsistent. I have not put out a video in the last few days. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know. I've had a lot of stuff come up for over the last few days. Yeah, I haven't been the best at making videos. Plus, I've been exhausted. But I'm really sorry for last week. But I promise you, it's not gonna happen again. Unless there's a really good reason. Yeah, I've just been exhausted. And you know, life happens every once in a while. So I wanted to do this video eventually. I guess to start it off, as you all know, first let me give a disclaimer. I am in no way a therapist. I am in no way any kind of professional help. So, take everything I say with a grain of salt. If you really think that you need to see a therapist, or if you feel like you are depressed or lonely, or you're struggling with life, don't take my advice as the final word. I'm telling you that, don't take, if you feel like you need professional help, just, there's no shame in getting it. I just wanted to give that disclaimer to you guys now. So I wanted to talk about Chester Bennington passing away. I waited a few days. Today will be 11 days since he passed. Number one, because I myself needed time to mourn. I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. They're amazing, and they've gotten me through. I know that this is stereotypical, and everyone's been saying this, but they've truly gotten me. Or not everyone. That sounded wrong, but I mean, of course they've helped a lot of people. They're Linkin Park, but they've really gotten me through a lot, which I'll explain a little bit more, especially with my childhood and teenage years, more specifically. So I needed to mourn myself. His death was truly a blow to so many people, including myself. But also I wanted to give it time out of respect to talk about it. I feel like posting a video right away would make me look like I was fishing for views or something, which I was not. And I feel as if, just like I needed time to mourn, so do other people, and I need to kind of get my emotions in check. So, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it now. So, unless you haven't heard, but I feel like everyone's heard, the lead singer of Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, unfortunately took his life on July 20th of this year. That was 11 days ago. He was found at his home by his housekeeper, I think I read. And he unfortunately had taken his life by hanging, which definitely hits for home. One of my best friends, Tommy, he passed away last March. Would have made it 3 years ago. He committed suicide as well, and it's hard. It's hard. It's so hard to explain the way it feels when someone personal has passed away, but from that, but also just when anybody commits suicide, it's so sad. But a little bit more about him, if you didn't know, he was the lead singer of the very successful rock band Linkin Park. Just a little bit of background information. They came out with their first album in 2000. And that album was really life-changing. It had songs Crawling, which has been played a lot lately. after his passing. It's a beautiful song. What else did it have? It had "In the End," which is one of their most popular songs. It also had "Paper Cut." It was a great album. And then after that, 3 years later, they put out Meteora, which had "Numb," which is their other huge popular song. I mean, they had a lot of popular songs, but that one was definitely defining for many people. And after that, they just put out so many amazing songs, and some of my favorites are "Faint." "Shadow of the Day" is one of my favorite songs. I've cried an insane amount of times to that song in the last week and a half. "What I've Done" and "New Divide" they did for the Transformer soundtracks. They're truly amazing, and they've changed so many lives, especially Chester. And losing him has been... He's a life that no one's life can be replaced. But he's a legend in music, and he's really helped a lot of people. And, I've read somewhere on someone's Facebook that he helped so many people get through life, and we're the same people that really wish we could have been there for him too. Trying not to cry. So going after what I was, going from this, I really wanted to talk about, as you guys know, I guess this is technically a different perspective. This is the beginning of the week. I want to talk about you're not alone. Sorry, this is a tough subject for me. You're not alone at the end of the day. People struggle. People struggle with life. There's people, everyone struggles with life, one of the things that happened with Chester Bennington is I talked about many times about how he had depression, and depression, to me, it's evidence that evil walks among us on this earth. I know so many people that have depression, and a little bit of background story behind me. I guess we can get into it a little. When I was around 13, 14, I was diagnosed with depression. A lot, not a lot. Certain things that happened in my life where people passed away and whatnot, and just I had a hard time socially, and life definitely wasn't easy. So they thought I had depression, and it had gotten so bad that, now we're gonna get really personal, that there were times where my brain tricked me into thinking that I wanted to do really terrible things to myself. And I went to a therapist, and they thought that I had depression. But then as time went by, when I hit around high school, they realized that though it may have been that, it's very true that it could be there. Sometimes, life gets stressful, and, it's depression comes in different ways. They realized that more specifically I had something called social anxiety, which I still struggle with to this day. And I guess I didn't know what was going on with me. So my mind, what happens is when your mind gets really anxious, it brings you to thoughts and places that you would never normally think about if you weren't feeling anxious. And when people feel anxious, they tend to think off of impulse. I haven't had this in a long time. I'm just explaining what was happening when I was a kid. And yeah, it was a lot. But when I found out that it wasn't depression, or that they thought it was majorly depression. Let's just, when they found out it was majorly social anxiety, it changed a lot for me. And I realized that I wouldn't have realized any of that, and I wouldn't have learned any of that if I wouldn't have, talked about what was going on with me. And if I would have kept it in my head, I don't really know where my life would have went. So I think what I'm trying to explain is that whatever's going on, if there's something in your head that's telling you that you're depressed, or that you're lonely, or that life is too hard and that no one understands you, talk about it. I know it's scary because you don't want people to think that you're, I don't know, the stereotype some people put on you is that you're crazy and there's something wrong with you. And listen, these feelings, they happen so much more often than you would think, and so many people are so afraid of the stigma that might be placed on them if they don't get help and talk. And it's so important to talk, you know. It's so important to talk, and there's nothing, if you feel that you need to go to a therapist, there's nothing wrong with getting help and talking to somebody professional. Sometimes that even works better because these people have made it their life priority to learn everything that they can about anxiety and depression, and they're probably the best people to talk to. And that's the other thing I want to talk about, is that no matter what, even if you feel that you're not loved, or you don't have friends, or you have no one to talk to, number one, there's always someone to talk to and go to, whether it be your family, or if your family's not an option. I mean, hey, the YouTube community is huge. Message me on any of my social platforms. I'm more than happy to talk to you. Again, I am not a professional. I will always suggest, if you really are having thoughts that you're going to do something to yourself, please talk to a professional. But I can, you know, there's always somebody that understands and relates to you. But number one, there's always talk about it. But number two, just, you're loved. Anyone out there that's watching this right now that doesn't think that they are, or thinks that there's something wrong with them, you're loved, and you will be missed if you do something that you shouldn't do. I'm crying on my own YouTube channel. Great. Every life is worth living no matter what happens, because I promise you it gets better. It always gets better. And life wouldn't be the same without you. You were put on this planet for a reason, and everyone wants to see where your life goes, because you were probably more than likely destined to do great things. So you should really live it out and see what happens, because life, sometimes it's a kick in the ass, but you know what? A lot of times it's worth it. You don't know what's in store for you, but you'll never know if you do something that you... I hate to use this quote, but it's very much sometimes it's very permanent. Though people don't realize it when they do it. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There's a solution to every problem, and it doesn't have to be taking your own life. So please know that you're loved, and this world will not be the same without you. And it's really important to get help if you were to talk, if you think that there's something going on. I promise you it'll be okay. Don't be afraid of what the results will be. Just know that people are there to help you, and that after the storm of whatever even the results are, or what you have to do, if there's anything you have to do, I mean, besides go to a therapist, life gets better from it. I feel like I can't fit everything I want to say in one video, but I just wanted to tell you guys that you guys are loved, and that your life is priceless, and there's always somebody out there for you. Just remember that, alright? So, yeah, guys, with that, rest in peace, Chester Bennington. Rest in peace to my friend Tommy that passed away. Rest in peace to people that have unfortunately taken their lives. Just know that you're lucky to live the life that you have, and keep on going. I promise you, it's gonna be worth it no matter what. It really is. All right, guys. With that, I love you guys. Have a great week. And oh, one more thing. If you think that anyone needs help, please don't be afraid to get them it, or be afraid to talk to somebody to make sure that they get help, because you never know. You just never know. And yeah, guys, so be a help and be a beacon to others as well, okay? Alright, guys, I love you. I'm gonna post a video tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Wednesday. So until next time, Squado. you guys.